Hey everybody, welcome to the Age of Reason podcast. We are not for the faint of thought with Mike and Alex, and we have Nick for the second week in a row. We're very privileged. Hello, Nick.
Hi. I chose to arrive tonight and let you bask in my glow. There will be more basking later, and
I love
there will be a
basking.
hot washcloth for you to clean up with later.
I feel like you're
So,
actually hinting to things you're going to bring up.
no, I'm
You're
not.
not.
I'm not that clever. I'm not smart.
So Nick is like for people that don't know, you're not on here every time, and you're not part of our notes call. So I'm curious to see what you're going to bring up. But we also have another guest in the studio today who's he got drunk in my house and he can't leave, so he wants to listen in. So if anybody hears any weird laughter in the background or puking, that's going to be coming from my side of the microphone.
Did you open the bordello again? Is that what's going on?
I did. Coke and sex, man. That's the way to go. Coke and sex parties. It's pretty goddamn impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have Coca-Cola as well, but yes, I have Coke as well.
Well, let's see. He puts a Coke and a smile on first, and then he moves to the cocaine.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Actually, Alex, before we go into the news, we did say that one of the things we're going to be keeping from the Standing for Reason podcast is to talk to people about certain initiatives that we can take, whether it be a march or something like that. We have another kind of call your congressman type deal. The big thing right now is what to call your congressman about in regards to the investigation into Russia. So Jeff Sessions, as we're going to discuss further, recused himself from this investigation. However, what we need to do, there's three different routes they can take this as far as how they investigate what's going on with Russia. And what we need is a select committee. This is the same type of committee that did the investigations for Nixon, Iran-Contra, and Hurricane Katrina. It's completely third party as opposed to allowing the Justice Department, which again is headed by Jeff Sessions as Attorney General, to basically appoint their own who could just be in the pocket of the administration or turn this over to Congress, which I'm not too convinced yet that the GOP isn't about separating themselves from Trump at this point. So a select committee would be made up of both parties equally, and that seems to be the best route to go. So call your congressman and let them know this is what we want. Any thoughts?
No, I mean, it sounds good. But like you said, right now with the Republicans controlling Congress, we'll see how far that goes. But it's definitely the thing to call them about right now. And if you like making those phone calls, bring it up.
Definitely.
I absolutely agree. Call your congressman. Call other congressmen. Apparently, they won't listen if you're not their constituent. But why not?
Lie.
Spend some energy.
Lie.
Get it out there.
Yeah. Fuck it. Call. Yeah. If you live in a blue state, call a red state.
I've emailed both of my senators, and I don't need to because they're from California and they're both rabidly against Trump. So, but I, still, keep up the good work. Pat them on the back.
Yeah. So, all right. That's our action item of the week. Alex, kick us off with news.
News, not too much. It's actually glad Nick's on here. We got some science things.
Today, Nick's face just perks up.
The first thing was they potentially found the oldest fossil in Canada.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. I believe it's.
You sound fucking thrilled.
It's the weed.
I think so. It's supposedly formed pretty. I guess I'll say recently, but it's like billions of years after the oceans formed. So it's. I mean, it's.
You could consider that recent. The Earth's only like 14 billion years old. So if it happened in the last 2-3 billion years, that's pretty recent.
It's definitely more than 6,000 years.
Billion is a lot, so that's
right. Especially seeing as how humans in our current form have been on this planet for roughly 100,000, which is what most scientists agree with. But
5,000.
Huh? Oh, 5,000. Great flood. God, Jesus. Genesis. So yeah, that's cool. And and this comes. I know you got some other stuff to talk about, but I don't know if we brought it up. A few weeks ago, Nick, how many planets did NASA discover that seemed habitable for humans?
7.
7.
Well, no, they found 7 Earth-like planets, and I think that 4 of them were in the habitable zone.
Nice.
Basically, that perfect little distance from your star where liquid water can be. Because, quite frankly, since we all have to base our scientific knowledge on evidence, we're not very inventive or creative. We just follow what's there. So, because I always kind of bounce the idea in my head, how do we know what's habitable? We know that life needs water, but that's our life.
Right.
Why not somebody else's life? So,
well, the like with SETI, one of the things that they look for is water, because they have not found one place on Earth that has water that does not contain life. So
yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good sign. But I mean, hey, with finding these other 7 planets as well as previous discoveries and Elon Musk, I mean, we may be able to do something in time before Trump blows us all to hell.
Yeah,
maybe.
The thing is, though, is that as cool and awesome as this is, it's 40 light years away. So if we send a signal to them, which will travel at the speed of light or roughly close to it, it's going to take 40 years to get there, and then 40 years to get their answer, assuming they answer right away.
Yeah.
They might get it and go, what the hell is this? And sit there for 50 years trying to figure it out, and then go, oh my God, it's people.
Yeah, we need an arrival. That's what we need. Maybe
crap.
Is that them?
The recording alarm. Did we go over?
What did we do?
We just started.
God damn it. Cell phones on silent, motherfuckers. All right. Alex, what's next?
So sticking with the space exploration, Elon Musk has just announced that in 2018 there's going to be some private citizens that have basically gave a down payment to take a trip around the moon. It'll be obviously his company SpaceX, which is a private company. So it'll be the first time we've gone around the moon in quite some time. And actually, he said it's going to be the longest trip that humans have been on, just because it's going on a wide turn around the moon instead of a sharp turn as previously done by the Apollo missions. So that's definitely, I guess, groundbreaking. A lot of people have talked about
groundbreaking. That's Trump.
A lot of people have talked about wanting to take a commercial space flight, and they've been collecting money for quite some time through different resources. But this is the first time that it's actually it's been announced that a mission has been accepted, and these people are not astronauts. He said that they're not Hollywood types, so it's still yet to be determined how rich they are and where they come from. But
probably
it's going to be so fun to speculate. Who's the wealthy guy going to space?
Yeah.
That's going to be so fun. That's what we love to do.
Maybe their last name will be
Wonder
Tillerson.
who the rich people are.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I have respect for Elon Musk and enjoy the things that he's doing. I mean,
That's going to be a long trip. That's like 6-7 days.
I don't know how I feel
6 or
about
7
an
days.
amusement park in space, but I mean, because he's doing other deals like that. But I mean, like I enjoy the work that he's doing, so I mean, good for him. I don't really know why he would do this.
I'll tell you right now who these rich people are. One of them is probably Richard Branson.
Amen.
And then one of them's like Matthew McConaughey. And it's got to be people that are rugged, that can handle being in a spaceship that long.
Matthew McConaughey is rugged.
Well, doesn't Virgin Mobile
have you seen what he's done to his body over the years just for roles? That
Oh
man
God,
can
Dallas
rug.
Buyers Club. Holy shit.
Yeah, and then you see him in that new one, Gold, where he has a beer gut.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my assistant who over here for the day is he's got a beer gut too. You should go to space. You can
no,
pull
but
off McConaughey.
Branson does have his own Virgin, I think.
Mobile.
Virgin Space.
Yeah, but
or something.
I haven't heard that they're on the same time frame as Elon Musk, though.
No, not even close.
Hey, the guest we brought today actually knows some shit.
Yeah.
See, I knew we had intelligent listeners.
Although it sounds like he's being hidden by some black dot on the news with his voice being scrambled.
Oh,
So maybe get him closer to the mic so he doesn't sound so rapey.
all right,
That's
get
my
over here. So you
sound,
don't.
though.
Now I have to share my fucking micro. Get
Look
over
at this. Look at this. Look at how he's acting right now. He doesn't like other men getting near his
You
mic.
so smell like beer right now.
Do you see this V-neck?
Oh my god.
It's because it's the name part.
All right. So all right. The only thing I got. Okay. So Bill O'Reilly. First off, I'm gonna play you guys a clip from what Bill O'Reilly had to say about Trump's claim that something happened in Sweden at his speech in Florida. So Bill O'Reilly is going to come on and defend Trump's speech.
Finally tonight, the factor tip of the day. As you know, President Trump talked about the migrant situation in Sweden in terms that brought him some grief.
You look at what's happening last night in Sweden. Sweden. Who would believe this? Sweden.
It is true that President Trump made a rhetorical mistake by not referencing what he was talking about in Sweden specifically. But get this, shortly after the president's statements, violence erupted in a largely Muslim neighborhood outside of Stockholm. Cars were burned, police attacked, carnage in the streets.
Okay, now after that, Bill O'Reilly brings on an intelligence person from Sweden, and then they have this interview, and then we find out that the Swedish government has no fucking clue who this guy is, and here's Bill O'Reilly, part of Bill O'Reilly's response.
Fine tonight, the factor tip of the day. Last week we did a segment on Sweden and its Muslim immigrant situation. Both sides were presented, as always. After the segment, some left-wing people objected to one guest, Niles Bildt, who was introduced by me as a Swedish defense and national security advisor. Swedish government also weighed in, saying they've had no contact with Mr. Bildt. Now, we looked into the situation, and the criticism is valid. It's valid. Mr. Bildt does consulting work on terrorism. That's true. But we should have clarified that he had no direct role with the Swedish government. To be fair, the information we gave you in the segment was accurate, but in hindsight, a more relevant guest should have been used on the anti-immigrant side. You should also know that before the segment was booked, we asked the Swedish ambassador to appear. He declined. That invitation stands. Factor tip of the day.
Okay, so first off, Bill O'Reilly in the first clip says, hey, well, you know, Trump did say have a rhetorical mistake, but right after he gave the speech, there were all these riots inside of a Muslim neighborhood just outside of Stockholm. So that's in the first video, or the first clip, and then in the second clip, he basically defends that the guy had every right to talk. He was of caliber to interview, but they basically just they announced the wrong title for the most part when the Swedish government came out and said, we don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Wrong title? What? Wrong?
They basically what happened was they said he was a member of Swedish intelligence, right?
Right.
And then it turns out that the Swedish government responds and says, we have no fucking clue who this guy is. And then, Bill O'Reilly comes out and apologizes and basically says, this guy wasn't a member of the intelligence committee, but he was part of the counterterrorism in Sweden. And we did try to reach out to Swedish government, but nobody got back to us, so we used this guy. And I just don't find this to be an apology whatsoever.
But you're saying Sweden doesn't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
So them saying that this is just a mistake on what his title is, well, if he never worked for the Swedish government, he wasn't an intelligence agent, so what was he, a pastry chef?
Right.
I mean, what...
Chuck.
Well, he studied Swedish intelligence outside of Sweden.
Picnic basket.
That's it.
For
As
sure.
a pastry chef.
Yeah,
Chuck
Chef
moves.
Donald Trump's
Yeah.
foods.
Say it again. Say it again.
For sure.
For sure.
Birdie, birdie.
Well, go ahead, Alex.
No, it's just the problem is, I mean, they got caught this time because
This time.
obviously Sweden watches Fox News. But how many times have they done this previously where they just pull some Joe Blow off?
A year ago, I went on a huge fucking rant about Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood and the guy that shot that place up. Hey, our guest hometown from Colorado Springs, when the Planned Parenthood got shut up and they caught the guy.
Away.
That was 3 blocks away from you?
Yeah.
So when they caught this guy, he's complaining about baby parts and selling baby parts, Planned Parenthood, all that shit. And
Extremists aren't Christian.
huh?
Extremists aren't Christian.
No, never. Especially this white angel. But
Right.
and then basically right when San Bernardino happened, which was a little bit after that, Bill O'Reilly comes out and says, when we get it wrong in the media, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does, because you guys allowed Carly Fiorina to have a fucking soundboard, which led to that shooting. So I'm sort of, I don't know. I don't want to give Bill O'Reilly fucking kudos for coming out and not really apologizing, but at least admitting that they had a piece of shit guest on their fucking show. Fox News is complete fucking bullshit. And actually, it's not even Fox News anymore. It's Fox News intelligence briefings for fucking Trump, because that's where he's getting this shit.
And Breitbart.
Well, and Breitbart, yes.
Yeah.
-1.
Oh yeah, well, minus Milo. They need a new editor. Milo's nowhere to be fucking found now.
No way
Yeah,
to
well-
influence the 20 and under.
Yeah, supposedly that's where his new call to have President Obama investigated for wiretapping him.
Yeah.
That apparently came from a news story on Breitbart that was put out on, I think, Friday or Saturday. So once again, our Cheeto in chief is taking a dump with his phone and sees that on Breitbart and says, outrageous!
What? He needs to stop taking shits in the middle of the night. He needs better bowel movements. We need to prescribe him lax. I don't know if you
Well,
give him
it's all the
laxatives, he'll be on the
walking
toilet
around.
more often.
It's all the walking around the apparently he walks around the White House in a bathrobe like he's lost all the time. It's all that activity in old people. It gets their bowels moving.
They can't find the
You
fucking
know?
light switches.
High fiber
Yeah.
diet.
Yeah.
That's what he needs. We need to constipate Trump.
Metamucil.
That's what. Yeah. We need to feed him lots of cheese.
Don't
Nick,
worry, all the KFC he's eating is
I'm
going to kill him.
Nick, I'm reminded of a story involving milkshakes and cheese. A
you remember that.
broken tile, a torn butthole, and a coat hanger.
Yeah,
Like Parenthood too.
yeah. You know, it's funny that happened the day of the moon landing, so that also has more significance.
So it's not an inside joke. Nick's dad.
Oh, really? Really? You're gonna put my dad on blast?
Well,
here?
it's obviously not you. You weren't alive in '69.
No, I know, but okay. So then the next time we're up, I'll talk about your mom's vagina. So
It's a
no,
dusty place.
Everyone can IDN 69.
All right, give me. Continue down the list. So yeah, we got Trump basically accusing Obama without any evidence. But you're saying it came from a Breitbart story?
Yeah, that's what I had heard this morning. But when half of our government went, what? Investigate who? Because it's the president can't order wiretaps. As much as Trump would like to, Obama couldn't. So
Good to know.
Right.
I did not know that.
yeah, to
Although-
wiretap an American citizen, you have to get a court order to do that.
Although the last famous presidential wiretapping scandal got somebody impeached, so I guess that makes sense.
Are you referring to Tricky Dick?
Alex, no. I'm referring to Richard Nixon.
Ah.
Alex has admitted, we're just airing out dirty laundry today. Alex has admitted several times on the show that Tricky Dick was his porn name.
Huh.
No, but yeah, so they did. A state senator, I think, tweeted out that if Obama did, was wiretapping you, you're in deep shit. That's because a federal judge would have had to sign off on it.
Right.
So yeah, obviously that's not the case. But I think the surprise hero just today I read is that James Comey actually came out and asked the Justice Department to publicly dispute this claim. They haven't done it yet, but it appears like he's trying to do the right thing for once. So
Yeah, and still same thing as Bill O'Reilly. No kudos for Comey. Comey possibly lost us this little bit. FBI should not have been involved in releasing bullshit investigation data at that close to the fucking election. I'm with you, Rust Belt, and I know, but still, Hillary's shortcomings shouldn't have any effect on the shortcomings of Comey. So still, fuck Comey.
Well, this is the second time that Comey's done something good in the past couple weeks here. The first time was when the White House asked the FBI to come out and say that all this Russia stuff was BS.
Yep.
And they said, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
yeah, so good job. Way to do your job.
Yeah, way to do your...
But while we're on the FBI here, did you hear that they actually tried to pay that British MI6 agent, the one that got all this dirt on Trump about Russia?
Mm-hmm.
The FBI tried to buy the intelligence from him originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't they just pay Tom Arnold? Tom Arnold supposedly has Trump using the N-word on the set of The Goddamn Apprentice. Why aren't they paying him if he's got it? I mean, that would still wreck Trump.
It's a little late now.
It would still wreck him. It would still be worth it because now we'd really get to say I told you so.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. He got sentenced, what's it called? Found guilty for being using racist policies for his apartment. So
That too,
I don't think
as well as his father.
Teflon Don.
Yeah, unfortunately. What's up next, Nick?
Well, I am going to talk a little bit about. It's kind of a news story, kind of not. I was going to relate it into something else because I have started seeing some things around my college campus lately that are starting to disturb the crap out of me. And one of them, actually the largest one, was an actual student that said that the Earth was flat.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's those damn B.O.B. lyrics.
And it's one of those things where I thought this was settled. I really thought this was settled.
Apparently not.
So I compiled a list here of stuff that's mainly from Pew or the public policy polling. Just to go through this list with you guys and see what you think. So we'll start off here. About 33% of Americans believe Saddam Hussein was personally responsible for the 9/11 attacks. So that one,
But
I guess people could...
nobody in a public office, including Bush, said that. He said harboring terrorism, but mainly it was the hiding of WMDs. Like there was, they thought that Al Qaeda had training camps and stuff there, but
Right.
not even those people said anything. No government official said that.
No, I know. I'm not trying to forgive anything on this list, but I'm thinking here, I guess people don't pay attention. They've heard Saddam Hussein's bad. They can kind of throw two and two together there.
Saddam's bad. Okay.
Yeah. So the next one here, 35% of Americans believe sexual orientation is a choice. Okay, well, this one is, again, a little more controversial, but generally it's considered...
That's probably like 55 and up.
Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few, older. There's I don't want to say you can't blame them, but I mean there are some people where it's like, all right, I get it. Like they, So I guess, Alex, you're probably right. It probably is a bunch of old people and a lot of religious people.
On this one, on the other ones, it's
the other one, you're a fucking
evenly
idiot.
distributed. But
yeah, we're getting through a list of doozies here. 18% of Americans believe that the Earth is the center of the universe.
No, really?
Yeah, 18%. That is
so Galileo was tortured for nothing.
That's over 32 million people. So
wow,
32
you put it like
million?
that. It's Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
what city has about 32 million people in it? Or like what area has like? Let's put that in perspective.
I think I heard the state of Arizona, was it? No, that's not. That can't be it. California's only got like 35 or 40 million. There's no way Arizona's.
So in a way, get a hold of yourself. See, I never knew we were this funny. Actually, we're not even being funny. We're laughing at terrible facts. Okay, chill out. Chill out over there. So, but in a sense, then the population of people that believe this is nearly comparable to the population of California. Right? Nearly. Like it's comparable.
I would maybe say New York.
Okay.
That's.
You done? All right, you got to go over there if you can't handle yourself.
Okay.
He loves science.
Maybe I need to get some of that Colorado weed.
Yeah.
He's not even high. That's the fun part.
I wish. I'm sorry.
So the next one's gonna maybe have him laughing a little harder. 25% of Americans believe that the Earth revolves around the sun.
Well, that would be the same thing as the center of the universe.
No,
No.
maybe.
Sorta.
Wow.
The people at the center of the universe, they just may think our galaxy's at the center of the universe.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Number one.
Yeah. 25% of Americans think that Darwin's theory of evolution does not exist.
Again, religious and old people, though.
20% of American. What's that?
No, I was surprised it's that low, to be honest.
That's actually not bad. That means 3 out of 4
Yeah.
people believe in evolution.
Or that means that doesn't exist. Maybe the details of that question are what tripped it up, because I thought it was pretty much roughly half the country doesn't believe in evolution. I think.
Well, just to be fair, that 25% of Americans means 95 million Americans. 95 million people.
So that's
that's
California twice,
yeah,
and probably the
that's
state of New York, excluding NYC.
that's a lot. That's a lot of damn people.
Yeah.
All Trump voters.
Well, I have one at the bottom that you'll like. Then it's Trump related.
Oh, good.
Here's another thing. So far things have been factually wrong. Like maybe people don't study biology or astronomy or pay attention to the news at all. So here's another
books.
one. 20% of Americans believe that winning the lottery is a good financial plan.
Are you so? A fifth of Americans.
So a fifth of Americans believe that they should just plan on winning the lottery, and that's good. That's good practice. So
You should
so
have
they
said
base
that
their
in a
future
southern.
on that.
That's good practice.
Carl's Jr.
Good practice. All right, so then we'll move on here. 33% of Americans believe in ghosts, and 18% say that they've seen one. Now this one's interesting.
If you include the Holy
the Holy Ghost.
that number goes.
Yeah.
that number
Talking
goes up a
tongues,
lot.
but
You got the
all
Holy Trinity
I gotta say is
going on
I'm
there.
getting a raging clue. I'm getting a raging clue. Oh, my clue's pointing over
It's
here.
a raging clue.
Oh my. Ugh. Let's rub clues together.
Okay, so this one here's a little funnier. 35% of Americans are positive that aliens exist, but 80% of Americans believe that the government has been keeping secrets from us about aliens.
80% of everybody, not 80% of that.
80% of Americans believe that the government is covering up aliens, but only 35% of us believe that they exist.
Well, now hold on. Let before we start the laughter and the banter here. I mean, we are all in agreement that I am of the belief that there's life elsewhere. I am not of the belief that they have been here and they have a fixation with shoving things up asses or any of that. And I don't.
One could hope.
Jesus. But I mean, I believe there is life on other planets. I am a huge fan of SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. That's all great.
So let me put your mind at ease. There is life in the universe other than us.
There has to be.
Quite literally with what we have to work with the evidence that we've seen,
and the size,
especially in finding all of these planets recently. there is life somewhere else. Now, what it is, whether it's bacteria, whether it's three testicled cats, we don't know.
Or that weird thing from that movie, Life.
They didn't vote Trump in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's out there. But, is it visiting us? Is it getting raging clues about us? No, probably not.
They know better.
Now it's time for the Howdy Boys.
Even that fossil that we talked about earlier, that is potentially life, and all it is basically tubes that was evolved in water. So that could have potentially been on Mars, and we could find remnants of that. And then there was, that would be proof there was some kind of other life. So yeah, hopefully we find something at least small, and that I think would create a shock, to a lot of people's beliefs.
I think it's going to
we were able
shock
to say
a lot of people that you said it could have potentially been on Mars.
Well, Mars specifically, we've already found the compounds
right.
that are
and this has to do
life.
with the collision that Earth had with Mars, and there's a lot of potential that life started because of that collision, and we are actually Martians. Bill Nye backs that up. Cool.
So let me.
Oh, there's more.
Let me go on. I have a few more here, and I'm going to give you a couple that are because the statistic is so low, it actually makes me feel a little bit better. So I'm getting us cheered up a little bit here.
Okay, good.
Only 7% of Americans think the moon landing was faked.
Really?
Only 7%.
I thought it was more because, the Red Hot Chili Peppers even have lyrics about it.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be more than that.
And only 7%. Actually, I don't know whether this one's sad or not. Only 7% of people believe that Elvis is still alive.
I bet you Tupac is higher.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Right? I bet you more people
what?
believe that
I
Tupac's
should have
alive.
looked that up, but I
I've
didn't.
seen Tupac at a fucking...
There was
Okay.
there was a huge. It was making news everywhere. There was an embassy attack somewhere 3 years ago, and pictures of the people that were there were circulating, and one of them looked like Tupac, and that was kind of awakening the theorists of the 7 day theory started coming back into play. That was only 3 years ago.
Sam Harris has a pretty good line he used about people that believe in Elvis, that they automatically, as soon as they make that assertion, that they take a hit in credibility, and you kind of think oh, this guy's crazy, and he kind of compared that to religion, and how people who believe in religion should kind of almost take a hit right off the top. So,
we've talked about that. I can't help it when I hear somebody say something that's religious. I'm like, that's too bad.
Okay, so let me get these last couple in here. 25% of Americans believe Barack Obama is literally the Antichrist.
My mother-in-law. She told me in 2012 that he was the Antichrist.
25% of Americans believe that we won our independence from a country other than England. So again, 25 million. That's 92 million people.
There's an alarming statistic. I want to say it's two. I want to say it's in the 60 percentile. I want to say it's 2/3. Can't name all three branches of government.
Yeah, that I've seen that one. So real quick, guys.
Our president?
No, that's a nuclear triad. Those are the three that I imagine probably government branches too, but he didn't know the nuclear triad either.
Well, it has "try" in the title, so. Anyway, there's three more here. So real quick, what do you guys think is a functioning grade level for your reading ability? The bare minimum you need to get by in life. Eighth grade? You're saying fifth grade?
I think for what the standard is I remember it. I think if you have an 8th grade. Wait, are we just talking comprehension and speed, or are we talking vocabulary?
I'd say Hatchet.
Reading at that grade level.
Hatchet.
Oh.
Hatchet, the school.
Hatchet was 5th grade.
Yeah, I mean, but
Alex, you and I read Hatchet was in 5th grade, I
mean,
think.
it was a great book. You understood everything that was going on. I mean, it's not going to bring you into the upper echelon.
Okay, we're not selling commercial time for Hatchet. Hold on.
No. But my point to asking you guys is that 14% of the U.S. population is illiterate. That's 32 million people cannot read, and 21% of the people that can read below a 5th grade level.
No wonder we're so happy that Trump can stand on a fucking stage and read a teleprompter.
For an hour, yeah.
Yeah, for an hour.
Okay, so last two. 16% of Trump voters are white supremacists and believe that the white man is the superior race.
No way. Is that real?
Yes. 16%.
It seems low.
That's gross.
No.
It seems low. It does.
And then finally, the thing that brings it all around to my main article here is 10,000 Americans signed on to a petition saying that the Earth was flat. So,
Explains all that.
Yeah.
this is where I told you earlier this week that if I came on, I might be defending Trump.
Oh, wow.
And here's the one reason. And I'm not fully doing this. I'm kind of tiptoeing into this idea.
So just the tip.
But
This guy's
but Trump is planning. This was from Politico. Trump is planning on restoring budget levels to NASA to the point where they were running the Apollo program. So they're planning on dumping tons of money into NASA, and they want to be on the moon colonizing by 2020.
And dumping
He just
tons
wants-
of coal waste in rivers.
Let me
Now,
let
hold
me
on. I
take
know where you're
away
going,
your-
Alex. I know where you're going,
He
Alex.
just wants to put Trump on the moon.
No, literally, that's part of it.
Oh shit!
So,
Really?
So I want this investment. I want this huge kind of space race level enthusiasm for space again, because I think all those statistics. I think that America is getting dumber. I think that our reliance on our cell phones, our technology, and everything. Why I don't want to get rid of any of that stuff, but the fact that we actually had a petition going around that was put out by the professors on our campus that talked about information literacy and how people can look things up, how none of the students seem to be able to find information even when they have a cell phone and they have Google at their fingertips. So if we get a big scientific endeavor going like this, where we're going to the moon, we're colonizing the moon, we're going to Mars, I'm all for that. Now, the part that is making me back off of fully praising Trump for this is that what he's doing, basically, he's inviting in private companies to be part of this big budget investment. And as in an exchange for that, I guess they're going to get favorable deals for when we start mining asteroids and mining the moon. So
Perfect.
basically, this is going to turn into mining rights and everything. And then I wonder how that's going to play out when we have like an American mining colony on the moon and the Russians and the Chinese want to put one there too. Do we start going to war on the moon with each other? I mean, this could get real sci-fi real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
What's that video
Well,
game?
I mean, they talked about the value of an asteroid being just a astronomical number.
Yeah,
whatever-
there are
whatever's
asteroids
bigger
that are
than
literally
trillions.
made of like diamond or gold or platinum. There are asteroids out there that are almost pure in an element.
What planet is it? It rains fucking diamonds, right? That's
That's
Jupiter or
yeah.
Saturn.
It's either Jupiter or Saturn.
I think it's Jupiter. Yeah, because Saturn, the rings are made of moons, basically. So I think Jupiter's got raining diamonds. Ugh.
Actually, I'm going to look that up because I actually think that's wrong. Jupiter
it's
doesn't
Saturn.
actually have any sort of land.
Right, it's gas, right?
It's just all gas.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about this? I mean, are we okay with having this big space race? Are we okay with jumping in with both feet again and just saying we want to get out into space? Because I think that's
No,
really
'cause
cool.
here's
but
my
at the
problem.
same time, are we exchanging things that we shouldn't like. I thought there was an agreement that no country can claim the moon or claim territory on the moon.
But here's my problem.
Yeah.
My problem is between you kind of have to look at the whole picture. Is it great for one country, that being ours, to say that we want to reboot or make our space program great again? When you, I mean, yeah, that's great. That's cool. I would like to see an international effort as opposed to this competition. And the reason I say that is because this is another way, in a sense, that Trump is taking us back to the 50s and 60s, because you had two races going on. You had the space race and you had the arms race. And one was a little more playful than the other, the space race. But in a sense, this is, to me, when it comes to space exploration and that sort of thing, and we've talked about this before. I'm a utopian type person. I don't like nations and shit like that. But I really think that when it comes to something like this should be a humanity thing. This should be the best minds from all over the world doing stuff like this, not us competing against each other, because this is
as long
not
as they're
fucking
not
Earth.
brown.
No, well, we do need to find a suitable place to send brown people.
India's doing very well.
Sorry, Alex.
India's doing very well in the space.
Well, they're not
community.
allowed to come in this country.
But I do
either,
think we need to join forces. I think what this is, I think this type of even somewhat innocent competition, like we had with Sputnik and the moon landing and all that stuff in the 60s, I think it's still that as a Raider fan, you hate the Broncos or you hate the Niners. That's it just adds more to to vilifying other places. Like, it used to be Russia, but under Trump's administration, I think it's going to end up being China. So that's how I feel about it.
I think 2 points on that for me. The first one is that the space exploration and all this creates innovation, and because of NASA, we've had so many different inventions that have helped us in our daily lives that we wouldn't think to credit NASA. I mean, Tang.
Gotta love Tang.
But on the second part is, I think it's a little bit different than the previous space race, and part of that is because now it's more free market, where we have companies, SpaceX, Virgin, Richard Branson's, and there's another one too. But so you have these companies competing with countries. So I think it would be less of United States versus China or Russia or India, and more of Elon Musk's company versus India or something.
I get that, but Trump's gonna make it that way.
And we do have the International Space Station, so it is also we do have some shared goals and stuff when it comes to space. But I think Trump in this instance, he just wants to say, under my administration, we put Trump on the moon. It's gold.
Giant fucking gold tea over there.
The
moon's the best it's ever been.
That's where I think it's going. I think that he just wants to be responsible for it. I think that he wants to be the one that can say, Trump did that. And you know what? I don't care. I mean, if it helps us along, and that's the one thing that I've taken a slight amount of crap from a few people. I say, if Trump does something good, I'm gonna tell people that he did something good.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah,
right. I mean, no, I think we on this show have been fair. We have attacked prominent liberals such as Gloria Steinem. We've attacked Democrats. I mean, shit. When we were doing the Standing for Reason podcast, we went after Cory Booker, Keith Ellison. We've done that. And when it came to Trump, I mean, we complimented Trump a year ago on the campaign trail when he said that he's not opposed to transgender restrooms and not imposing laws. Now, all that shit has been fucking reversed. But at the time, we gave him credit for it. What I will not give him credit for is not taking a shit when he's giving a speech. Did we ever say, oh man, look at President Obama? Like, he spoke really well today. No, you expected it. You expected Obama to speak well. There was a little bit with George W. Bush. You could have played a drinking game every time he fucked up. Families is where we get our strength. It's where wings take dream. It's my favorite George Bush quote. But what?
Did you ever hear Chris Rock's thing about Colin Powell?
No.
Okay, so I've heard comments that are the exact same as I'm about to say about Obama. And Chris Rock used to do a stage routine. He'd say, "Oh, these people always say Colin Powell. He's so well spoken. He's so well spoken." Well, he's an educated man, you dumb motherfucker. What do you expect?
Right.
Right. It's the same thing. I've heard people say, "Well, Obama's so well spoken." It's like, are they saying what? That for a field hand, he's really well spoken, or, what are they getting at?
Well, I mean,
and we can't give the same to Trump. Oh, well, he was so well spoken the other night.
And the thing is Obama. I mean, love him or hate him. I mean, Obama was probably one of the best orators we've had. I mean, since from what I hear, from what historians have said, Lincoln. But that's something that a president was exceptional at. Bill Clinton was not an exceptional speaker, but he was an okay speaker. George H.W. Bush was an okay speaker. So was Reagan before his mind got fucked and Nancy had to help him. But the thing is, though, we should not be applauding Trump. And Alex, so there's a thing going around that Alex, you sent me, and I haven't been able to verify it. And
Alex is busy grabbing pussy.
Yeah, so this fucking administration, man. So Alex, you sent me a text, and it was a picture of a tweet from Van Jones with his arm around Eric. Was that Eric Trump or Don Jr.?
I think it was Eric.
Okay, so he had his arm around one of the Beavis or Butthead, one of the two, and it said, "When I say I resist Trump, I don't mean this guy." And I could not find that picture anywhere to verify it. So that is floating around. I'll continue looking. But Van Jones did tweet out after Trump's address to Congress that tonight he became president. Fuck you, Van Jones. Fuck that. We do not give credit to presidents for not shitting on the fucking carpet.
And I mean, really, the difference is night and day when he reads off a teleprompter and he gives a speech off the top of his head.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference. So, yeah, he didn't do anything special. The one thing that I did notice is that the Japanese, who I guess the language of Japanese is a very logical language, they're having problems interpreting Donald Trump because he makes the interpreter said they sound like idiots when they
there's no Japanese word for bigly.
No, there isn't.
But that's very good to know. But a few things about that speech. I mean, it was like a Catholic fucking wedding. I mean, there was a lot of standing ovations, but the female Democrats did show up in all white. Although I don't know who this Democratic representative was, but there was one person who was smiling while she showed the boo sign and was yelling boo, but she was like having a good time. If anybody watched the speech, it's on there. That kind of pissed me off, but I'm glad to see that they did come.
You were mad that she was having a good time?
Yeah, this is serious. He's up there talking. He's huh?
No.
That Democrat bitch smiling and having a good time.
No, fuck that. This is a
She's
fight,
supposed to be
goddammit.
angry and frothing at the mouth like the guy that yelled liar at Obama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give them their own fucking medicine. But, so let me ask you guys this. What did you think about Trump milking the fuck out of the widow to Brian Owens?
God,
I mean,
go first.
Mine's simple. I mean, she's a widow. We're sorry for her loss. We covered the raid and stuff already, but I don't think it's. I think any president would have done the same thing. I don't think it's anything special.
I think him making a comment about breaking a record because the standing ovation was a minute and a half was bullshit. But what was also bullshit is he used that to then piggyback a few minutes later onto Voice, the victims of illegal immigration crime
FVU,
engagement or
something.
some shit.
They just needed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forget what the E stood for because it,
it
didn't make
sounds
sense.
good up to the E, and the
It
E
was
they
like
just threw some word
victims
in
of
there.
immigration crime empowerment. I
Was
think
it
it was
empowerment?
something like that.
It was just fucking stupid. But I think he milked the shit out of that. I mean, there was 2 standing ovations. It's to me, it was in bad taste, and he was using her and her tragedy as a pawn. That's the way I looked at it. But he then said that Brian Owens will be honored and everything, which we're all in agreement with. But he also said that he after blaming the generals for the fact that the mission was a complete failure, he then doubled back on that and said that the mission was a complete success, and the information that Brian Owens sacrificed his life for will lead to keeping America safer and prevent further attacks. And the only thing I can think of is you lose a soldier on a raid that you ordered over fucking dinner when Obama said it wasn't ready, and that's why they didn't do it, and you said Obama's a pussy, we're going in. So you send people in, you lose the life of a Navy SEAL, and you say this is going to prevent things. So my point is, this is unverifiable. Because the next time something does happen, let's see if anybody remembers, who are we going to blame for the next terrorist attack? Who's getting blamed for that?
Yeah, but I mean, the problem with that is,
real quick for the
this is
viewers, for the listeners, who are we blaming the next time we have a terrorist attack? According to Trump.
It's the judge.
Judges. And that particular judge from the state of Washington. But when Trump loses a soldier because of bad planning, which he then blamed on his generals, when it was ultimately his decision, unverifiably, we are safe now. There's no way to tell that. But if something does happen, it's the judge's fucking fault. That pissed me off.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Yemeni civil war that we have no business putting troops on the ground over there anyways. But, yeah. Nick,
I don't like the nationalism that we have going on in this country, and I think I've talked about it on here before. I don't like how we put our soldiers on pedestals. I don't like how we put anybody on a pedestal. I think, and I'll take heat for saying it. I think that all of this veteran love is too much.
You un-American piece of shit.
Yeah, call me un-American if you want. I think that putting soldiers on pedestals so high that we are not allowed to criticize them, say anything wrong about them. I think that when we do that, we allow for more of these cover-up type situations because our soldiers can't be wrong. Our soldiers can't have done bad things.
Right.
They're perfect human beings. They're perfect Americans. They're taken care of in the best possible way. If all that crap wasn't happening, maybe the VA would be better funded. Maybe people would give more to soldiers. Thinking, these guys these men and women, they're in uniform. They do a hard job and they don't get enough recognition. We say that now. We say that all the time now. They don't get enough recognition for the job that they do. I hear about them every day. Every single day I hear something like that. Everybody's got a bumper
I think if
sticker.
we weren't on an FBI watch list, we are now.
I think I think
You're welcome.
I think to be fair, the recognition part is one thing, and I agree with you. I think for the most part on that, but I think the problem is we're still not paying them correctly, and
yes,
when they serve, I think that's a separate issue.
No, but Nick, I think where you're
saying.
going with this too is they use that lack of recognition, even though they do get plenty. That's not used for the military budget to go more towards veteran benefits and pay and stuff like that. It's used for a 10% fucking increase in our defense budget. That's
right.
what it's used for. And if you disagree with the fact that we already do spend more than the next 7 fucking countries combined, and we should not spend more, at least increase by 10%, you are un-American.
Well,
and that's where it goes.
People seem to forget, okay, our defense budget isn't big enough. We need to put a $540 billion increase onto our defense budget or whatnot, double it. We need to do that because our soldiers don't have enough stuff, or they're not getting the recognition they need.
No,
everybody seems to forget that when we were, spending our asses off in Iraq, we had soldiers that were sending requests home for their mom or dad to buy night vision from a surplus store and send it to them because they didn't have any. And nobody seems to realize that most of the defense spending goes to defense contractors.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with anything
We're not
that's
helping
important.
the fucking soldiers.
But my main point, back to your use of the widow, I found it completely despicable. Now, like Alex said, I think every president would do it. So I'm not.
I don't think in the
I'm not
same
saying
way.
Trump's any more guilty of anything. Well, he was an asshole when he said the tweet later. I got a standing ovation record. A big deal. All of the presidents would do this, but that's my point. This poor woman lost her husband. She lost it in a bad raid.
Yep.
It wasn't that the raid wasn't ready yet when Obama was in office. It's that Obama said it wasn't worth it. So we just basically, he used this widow as a tool to show how big and strong he is and how everything he did was this and that. And then when they came and asked him about it, he deflects blame to the generals. It's like when they asked him, how is your administration going so far? He said, we get an A+, but my people get a C+ for communications because that could be better.
But they're communicating with the outside world just fine.
Yeah.
With the leaks.
Luckily.
Yeah, and, the media is still following Trump, too. We got one more topic to get to. How are we doing on time? What do we got left?
About 5 minutes.
All right, yeah. Real quick, his address the following day on the Gerald Ford aircraft carrier was written on the news channel as the first speech since Trump's address to Congress, and it's like it was 12 fucking hours ago. Like, first speech? Can't you just say Trump speaks to fucking on Gerald Ford aircraft carrier? Whatever. Anyway, Russians. Who wants to walk us through the Russians? There's 7 of them in Trump's cabinet that now Jared Kushner was found to be meeting with the Russian ambassador along with Michael Flynn. Jeff Sessions has to recuse himself, as we discussed earlier, and there's no doubt now that he lied to the Senate, particularly Al Franken, back during his Senate hearings.
Do you remember the video that came out where Obama was telling, I think it was when President Medvedev was in charge of Russia, when he told him, hey, this is my last election, I'll have a little more leniency after this, and, we can talk or whatever. Do you remember how, huge of a deal it was? That was like the end of the world. Obama was committing treason.
Yeah.
Now it's like crickets.
Yeah, and Mike Pence accepting intelligence emails on a private server when he was the governor of in Indiana. Where is everybody?
On AOL too.
On AOL, yeah.
Who the hell uses
Who the
AOL?
hell uses AOL?
Maybe he hadn't used his 1,000-hour disk
It's like
yet.
using Netscape. Like, who the hell
Or
uses
Net Zero
He should be slapped just
God.
for that.
and dial up.
Oh,
Fucking dial up. Remember waiting for songs? 5 megabyte fucking songs would take 2 hours.
I don't know what
Yeah,
you're talking about. I never
You remember
downloaded
waiting
illegal
45
music.
You're the one
minutes
that
for the
introduced me to
picture of a
downloading
naked
illegal
woman?
music. Say what?
You remember 45 minutes for a picture of a naked woman? You're
Oh,
her
yeah, you
hair,
get the
her-
top.
I see an eyebrow. I see eyes.
Loaded for the
Oh my
top
God!
down.
Zoom
Oh
in
my
the
god,
boobs.
that's
Where's
her
the-
nipple. Nope, that's her
Yeah.
finger. God damn it. And then to find out it's not even nude. She's covering it. That is fucking terrible.
Yeah, the terrible one was when email was very when it was first available and everything. I got an email from my brother, and he sent me one of the first spam emails with check this picture out, and it was, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna send me a picture of some woman, and it goes down, and it's this like 700-pound woman having sex with this guy that's only 110 pounds.
Oh my god.
And I was like,
This wee man.
My life.
like I sat here for a half hour waiting for this picture to show up.
I feel like we got the worst of the worlds because we had that in our teens where you had to wait for the picture, or you had to wait for the video. I mean, seriously, thank the Flying Spaghetti Monster that even when you downloaded video, you got to watch what you had captured already. So I mean, but it was a huge tease, and now it's so easy. But prior to that, it was scrambled porn.
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
You tell the HBO guy that's coming over to fix your cable box, he's like, hey, buddy, If I give you another $30, can you hook me up with Showtime and Skinamax too? So he gets his little Phillips head in there and does the magic.
Yeah.
And then you got to sit there by the cable boxes. Every now and then the bars will come back and it'll get wavy lines. So you got to bang on the top of the box to get it to work right.
I remember that.
Oh man, flashbacks.
Yeah, that was Red Shoe Diaries. What was that?
Oh.
Bordello, Beverly Hills Bordello. That was the other one. Yeah, there was a ton of them on those channels. That's where I loved going to my dad's house. We didn't have cable when Alex and I were like, did we have cable at your house? I know I didn't have it at mine.
Yeah, I had cable.
You lucky bitch. I didn't have cable.
Okay,
at home,
calm
so.
down. It was probably stolen from the neighbors.
I'm sure it was.
At least I
There
had
was some
cable.
sort of wiring going on. Oh, that's right. No, you know what? It was, Alex, because you remember that time we're sitting with your little brothers and we're watching TV and your TVs were connected. So the TV in your living room was the TV in your bedroom, and Uncle went in there, and all of a sudden there's some deep throat action going on the fucking TV right in front of all the kids. That was great.
Oh man, you almost lost your Mexican credibility there. Go, yeah, I had cable, but then you got it right back.
No,
and you're like,
I mean,
stole it from the neighbors.
What he meant to say was my neighbor. That's what you should have said. Did we have cable when we grew up? Our neighbor did.
Yeah,
And that's all we needed.
and therefore,
So Mexicans are thieves, Nick.
well, yeah, that's what I'm implying with my racially insensitive white liberal humor here.
And veteran insensitivity too. Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. But you don't want me to get on my rant, you know?
No,
I
you know what?
with
Hey,
firefighters, and it's working its way right up to veterans.
Oh god,
now.
yeah, you ruined me on Firefox. It's
I've dropped the terminology firefuck, but I still will give them a sour look here and there when I see them doing something that I don't agree with.
That'll teach them.
God
Yeah,
damn.
that's right.
They're
When I get a
baggy
little older,
yellow
I'm just gonna
pants.
shake my fist at them as I go by in my walker.
And they're fucking javelins and shit. All right. We'll definitely have to get. We'll have to have more of that conversation. Honestly, that's what we're supposed to do on here. So, yeah, that concludes the show for today. So, thanks for listening, everybody. This has been Mike, Alex, Nick, and some fucking guy here on the Age of Reason podcast. We are not for the faint of thought. Follow us on Twitter at AOR_podcast on the Age of Reason Facebook page. And for everything else, AORpodcast.com. We will see you guys next time.